my career has been spent in blockchain technology, specifically Bitcoin. And one of the principles undergirding that technology is decentralization. It's basically strength in having no single point of failure, right? You can take any one computer out of that network and the whole network is just fine, right? So this is the principle that you're essentially referring to. It, like, take one greenhouse out of a network of millions of greenhouses and you still have millions of greenhouses. Whereas if, with the example of that one massive mega farm greenhouse in Quebec, like, if that goes down, then suddenly, like, great, that one greenhouse, it's going to feed 500,000 people every year. Like, yippee-ki-yay, hoorah, awesome. What happens if that greenhouse fails, or salmonella, or XYZ reasons, right? Burns down. Well, then it's not feeding 500,000 people. So, like, that's the cost of centralization, right? Like, one of the words in the that I read off on the regurgitation of ChatGPT, it said large projects, right? Measurable projects. And we do know that government likes to sign bigger checks for bigger deals. One of the reasons for that is because it's less work for them to administrate, actually, right? It's a lot easier to administrate from a government perspective one massive greenhouse that feeds 200,000, 500, whatever it is, at like very large number group of people than it is to facilitate 10,000 grants for 8,000 or 12,000 greenhouses, and each one of them requires an application and a vetting process and this and that, right? And each one of those people, they don't have that team of accountants, that team of bookkeepers, that grant writer, the lawyer. They don't have, most of them really don't have any of that to sit there and write all that stuff down and keep track and like make good on all of the grant requirements, because a lot of the grants, they don't just stop when you get the money. Like, you have to write a report. And if you're the one farmer that wants that one greenhouse and you're going to feed 80 people in your community with that one greenhouse, like, if you build that greenhouse, great, you got the money for that. But guess what? Now you got to build that greenhouse and then maintain that greenhouse and put crops in that greenhouse and harvest the crops, then, you know, process the crops, distribute the crops, and abide by the rest of the laws that go along with food production. Like, you're not paying attention to that grant. So a lot of the times, administration of these smaller grants just completely is overlooked, right? It's just completely infeasible, top down, bottom up, to facilitate these things, which is, you know, unfortunate. But we would like to see more of these smaller things get funded, because we build stronger systems that way. This is upstream thinking, right? Harkening back to where we started this podcast. You said upstream and downstream. This is upstream thinking. We have to do the hard thing. And if we're going to spend $500 million on infrastructure, then let's just critique that one word, large. Can we maybe negotiate a little bit? Can we have some wiggle room a little bit on the word large and just even downgrade it just one to like medium?